I am Andrew Ryan, and I'm here to ask you a question. Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow?
I know what you're thinking, and it's crazy.
So, stay here.
Shepard, you're dead.
I got better.
The right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world.
He's fucked in the head. The world's fucked in the head. And you're fucked in the head because my fucked up head is inside.
We will send unto them only you. Rip and tear.
Hello and welcome to Sci-fi United.
Oh yes, it's Sci-fi United, isn't it?
Sci-fi United now.
Yeah, I quite like the name.
I didn't mind it, to be fair. That's why, Ethan was really shocked that I didn't fight it. I was like, nah, he's quite funny, and I didn't mind it. I wasn't offended by it.
Could you imagine the sponsorship possibilities? We could have football kit made.
Sci-fi United.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, we can talk more about that on the variety show.
Yeah, maybe we'll insert the video, the clip that Paul did for the episode into this, because we are on the Cheap Show podcast on whatever episode number it is. It's called Cheap Show TV Part 1.
Mm-hmm.
Hint, we're also on Part 2.
Yeah. Spoilers.
And it's live now. So
we don't get killed off.
We lose.
I'll get rid of that.
Yeah, well done. Either way, go and listen. It was very funny. We had a lot of fun doing it. And yeah.
Anyway, this is the Untitled Sci-Fi Show. Welcome.
Bad aim, Blondie. Spartan? John Spartan? Oh shit, they let anybody into this century.
So, first things first. Oh, whenever I say things, I was like, first things first, I'm the realist. I don't remember what song that is. It's some kind of rappy thing. Where's Simon? He'll probably know just from that little lyric.
Is it Garage?
On this instance, I don't know.
We haven't done that joke for a long time, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. I spilt my coffee. I wasn't expecting you dickheads to need me this early. It's Iggy Azalea, you uncultured swine.
First things first, I'm the realist. Drop this and let the whole world feel it. Let them feel it.
Stop. Copyright, you bloody idiot. Jesus. No professionalism.
So, guess the intro.
It is.
Do you remember anything about it?
I went back and I made sure I found my text I sent you with all my answers.
Yes, because, spoilers everyone, he got them all right.
Yes, I did. Ha 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 ha.
And no one else did.
Oh.
So I did have people actually wrote in this time.
That's
people
good.
actually listened to me last time when I complained.
I was going to say, I do think, as much as we enjoyed Electric State, I think it got such a bad rap. And I think so many people are disliking of Chris Pratt now. I think a lot of people avoided it, which is a shame because I really enjoyed it.
I thought it was great.
I think it was really good, but I do think that would explain why maybe that episode, although weirdly then, the episode with the least amount of views at this point has had the most answers for the Guess the Intro.
Yeah, probably.
Weird.
Well, I had 3 people other than you have voiced an opinion on what the answers are. So, because that's spoilers for everyone, a third of the people that listen to the episode.
That's really weird.
It's the worst performing episode of any of our shows ever. That is the worst performing one.
All I can think is people have honestly just gone and said, right, we heard the Electric State's crap, so we're not going to watch it, which I think is really unfair because I thought it was really good.
It'll be a forever blip on the slowly, steadily increasing bar chart. It's a very sudden cliffhanger drop.
Well, I'm going to put that down to it's the Easter holidays.
Well, let's hope so.
Do you mind pressing pause for a moment?
I would if I could remember where pause was.
Really? We are only 3 minutes into this shit and I'm here for a second time? Right, okay, pause. Oh yes, I'm making you wait. If I have to suffer through the silence, so do you. Okay, that's enough, let's play.
I said thank you after he paused. Thank you.
That's very well. You're very welcome.
We got new mics. We're fiddling with stuff. I famously talk very quietly. Just my voice in general must just be quiet.
Yeah, you have got a gentle voice compared to my horrendous noisy one. So
yeah. He's having a moment over there.
I was trying not to burp down the mic because I've got a feeling that as bad as the burp sounded on the old mics, I've got a feeling it might sound even worse on these
high
to
def.
you.
In high def. Like the one last thing about the cheap show thing was I noted when he's like, who are the quietest two people? Me and Sean went and sat in the quiet seats, and then he was like, oh, everyone had to count to 20. Did a little bit of fiddling in everyone's dials. My one ramped the gain right up, which must have driven him mad because I was sat directly next to Eli, who is actually quite loud.
Yes.
There must have been so much bleed from him onto my mic. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I haven't listened to it.
Don't forget, Paul is a professional.
But
unlike
he
me,
knows what he's
who
doing.
has been trying to learn this system. It would probably benefit me not to have just gone and got us something super complicated. We could have just gone with it, but there you go.
No, but this thing's crazy sexy. Anyway, right. So let me get this started.
So guess the intro.
Guess the intro. Number 7 it was.
Was it now?
The quickest way to end a miracle is to ask it why it is or what it wants.
Go on, then.
Anal. Oh, sorry, what it wants. Batteries not included.
What it wants is batteries not included. That's
Great,
correct.
great
Well
film.
done.
And I can imagine it makes a fair few people emotional, especially when he saves the little one.
Yeah, it's one of those few films that is quite sad. Bicentennial Man, it is a sci-fi film that I cry to every single time.
Yeah, funny enough, Jem likes Bicentennial Man. I'd never seen it. She's a really big fan of Robin Williams anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And I hadn't ever seen it until fairly recently. And I thought it was a very moving, very clever film.
Yeah, it's quite long. It's nearly 3 hours.
It is a long old film.
And they always put it on super late.
Of course.
Which is really frustrating because as soon as Miranda and I see it's on, we'll watch it. And then that's 1 o'clock in the morning, get to bed. I don't know why they put it on so late.
It's because they're arseholes.
Yeah. Anyway, next.
It's here! And get that foolish woman back to the infirmary!
So that was a nice simple one. That is Alien 3. And that's good old Sigourney Weaver. She's got such a very defined voice.
I don't think anyone would have had trouble with that one. If you're listening to a sci-fi podcast, you know what happens in Alien 3.
100%.
Where the hell can I get eyes like that?
Gotta kill a few people.
Now, that one's a little bit harder. That was Pitch Black. Now, I've got a lot of love for Pitch Black.
I absolutely adore Pitch Black. It's a great film.
It's a really good film, and it's actually probably one of Vin Diesel's better films.
Mm-hmm.
And let's face it, he's done some crap ones. The Pacifier, to start with, the Disney film.
All of those car films?
Not all. I like the very first film.
From Tokyo Drift onwards. So Tokyo Drift is the last good one.
Yeah, 1, 2, and 3 are my favourites. I wouldn't touch anything else. Yeah. Everything afterwards has just been an abject failure. Although I would say I've got a little bit of cheesy love for Hobbs and Shaw.
I haven't seen that one. And that one I was excited to actually watch, and I haven't seen it.
You should. It's a piss take. It's just lots and lots of action. It's Statham and The Rock being what they are. And I think Idris Elba's in it as well, actually. Yeah, it's a good cast. It's a good action film. A lot of fun. It's well worth watching. But as for the other Fast and the Furious films, 1, 2, 3, then just stop watching.
Yeah.
Galactica is reporting heavy damage to her landing base.
Bring her around 60 degrees. We're going in.
I think that one was a little easy because
I purposely made it easy, yeah.
It had to be a little easy, but the fact that it says Galactica at the very beginning, so Battlestar Galactica, original series.
Well, it's for the fact that the week before no one entered. So I was like, I've got to make
Did
it
you
so
make
actually
it too
somebody
hard, or...
somebody can actually guess them all.
Fair enough.
Who's gravitational pull? What do we do? We die.
Funny enough, this was one that took me a little bit long because I don't think I've really watched this more than maybe twice in my life, and it's The Last Starfighter.
I actually haven't ever seen it.
Oh, it's
so I have no idea if that's a good quote from it.
No, you know what? I don't think I could tell you if that was a good quote from it or not. All I can tell you is it is a quote from it. Yeah, it's one of those films. It's good fun, but I never seem to want to seek it out. Unlike some other like 80s films, things like Flight of the Navigator, I would seek that one out non-stop because it's bloody brilliant.
I got given that as a gift. Did you give it to me on DVD?
Not me.
Someone gave it to me on DVD as a gift fairly recently.
Oh, it was a good choice of film.
Yeah,
It's bloody brilliant.
You are a user. And everything you've done has been according to a plan, right?
You wish.
You are a user.
That's,
Tron.
That's what I was hoping people would spot that bit.
Yeah.
Other than the actors, obviously, but...
So Tron, again, top film. Weirdly, do you know, the first time I ever watched Tron was thanks to Ramesh.
What, you went around his house?
No, it was when he used to rent out videos.
Oh, you rented it from
I went
the
in
corner
there
shop.
and I said, Ramesh, I really like sci-fi films. What films do you recommend? I mean, this was Ramesh, bless him. He wasn't going to be able to tell me a good sci-fi film. He might have been a superstar sci-fi fan for a while. But he said, oh, this one's really popular, and just gave me Tron. Took it home, blown away by it. And what always makes me laugh is just on the right here on my shelves, I've got a Tomitronic somewhere, the red shield-looking like device that you hold up to your eyes. Here it is, a Tomitronic 3D. And I swear that's either one or the other was based off it, because of the ships in that look like the ships that they bring in that start hunting them down. Yeah, the weird leg things.
They look like kind of giant upside down U's.
Yeah, and that's exactly what that Tomitronic game is. You're playing a tank, blowing them out the sky.
Oh, cool. So well done. Shout out to my co-host here, Tom. Well done, Tom.
Yay!
You can find him on the Variety Show podcast.
Everywhere that you look, I'm there.
So I've got some fun ones coming out because I went and sat down yesterday and planned out the next few. So the next one is all computer games.
Okay.
They're all going to be computer games. I'm hoping I can get quotes for them. If not, it'll be an iconic sound effect that you will clearly know from the game. Because the games I've chosen, if you are into even remotely gaming, you will know every single one.
Nice. Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
And then after that, it's all 80s. So only 80s sci-fi is the one after that. And then the two after that are 90s. Then it'll be two lots of 90s sci-fi. So there you go. But anyway, next time it is... Well, you would have heard at the start of this one. The start of this episode. They were all games. I haven't made it yet.
Thanks a lot, you shit.
For repeated violations of the verbal morality statute.
So much for the seashells. I'll see you in a few minutes.
So, what you been doing, watching, saying, slaying?
Yeah, mate, in it, bruv. I was like proper slay the other night, in it.
I was more being California girl.
Oh.
Than young hood rat.
Oh, now I've got the tits for it, but just leave it alone, will you? It's just not nice.
Got the hair for it. You got beautiful light-coloured hair.
It used to be ginger. Now it's just grey and strawberry blonde.
Your beard's still ginger.
Yeah, go on, rub it in a bit more.
Your luscious
You
beard.
can't win, you dick. Anyway,
Your
what have
balls. What colour are your balls?
Wouldn't you like to know?
That's what I'm asking.
They call it the Duracell.
Gross.
Yep. Right. I have, gaming-wise, not done much.
Because it's full of disease and has lots of children.
Oh.
The whispering's working.
Right. Gaming. Literally, after we chatted about it a few weeks ago, I said I wanted to play Katamari because I never got around to playing.
Damacy.
Yep. Literally the week after I think we said that, I checked App Store, checked good old Apple Arcade, and it just flagged up Katamari Damacy, whatever it's called, released next week.
Nice.
So it's a mobile version for Apple Arcade users, along with Roller Coaster Tycoon Classic.
On the phone?
On the phone.
Well, that must be awkward.
I haven't downloaded it. I was wondering I might do it because Apple Arcade spans to the MacBook.
Oh, then it'll be okay then.
That might be quite cool on the MacBook, but it will still just be a touch version that you've got mouse controls for.
Yeah.
But I'll have a play with that. So those are the games I've been playing. I haven't played anything on the Xbox. I haven't even played... You know what? I haven't played on my Legion Go for about 3 weeks. But there's a lot going on here, so that's neither here nor there. Sci-fi wise, and I guess that's what most people want to hear, Doctor Who, but not the new stuff. And Biffo was somewhat put me off wanting to watch the new stuff. But this all ties in with what I said last week, where if something captures you, you either binge watch it or you go, oh, right, new episode out. I must go and watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And the last season of Doctor Who, as much as I enjoyed a lot of the episodes, I felt absolutely no inclination, as soon as I'd missed one, to go back and catch up on it. So I missed the 2 last episodes. In fact, the last episode I watched was the evil fairy thing that was chasing after What's-Her-Face that ends up in the football stadium and was just a massive anticlimax.
We actually spoke about it, didn't we?
That was my last episode of Doctor Who modern that I've watched. Now, I've gone back onto iPlayer and they've got all the Doctor Who. They've got Classic Who on there. They've got the new, modern, not new Doctor Who. So I've just started with David Tennant again, as I've watched the Christopher Eccleston ones fairly recently. Still love them to bits. And I fancied a bit of Tennant.
Mm-hmm.
Who wouldn't?
So,
I bet he's hung.
Well, that's what she called him. That's actually true that she called him that. Yes, her nickname for him was 10-inch. Yeah.
Oh, righty then. So now I'm just making my way through the Tennant era until I get to Matt Smith, and I'll go through the Matt Smith era. Don't think I'll bother with anything afterwards because honestly, wasn't blown away with any of it. I mean, we've spoken about the Jodie Whittaker era before. Just poor stories, poorly written. Felt more like it was trying to give you an education or a lesson in something than
every episode was a lesson.
Just them being fun. Oh God, who was Peter Capaldi? Didn't mind it until they made him blind, and I just thought, no, this is just bloody stupid. He's blind with Sonic sunglasses on. No, there's a limit, and you've crossed it now. So, as much as I liked Capaldi as the Doctor, it didn't gel with me. Great actor. Don't think it was the right choice in the end.
He would have been a better Doctor if it was Torchwood.
If it was Torchwood, yes, or if he was playing the Master.
Yeah.
He would have been a better bad guy.
No, you're right.
Throughout
better
a series.
bad guy. Or if it was all rated 12. Do you know what I mean? He would have been a better grown-ups Doctor rather than...
funny enough,
because Doctor Who's a kid show.
This is what we were discussing, though, and I kind of feel that Doctor Who was the family show. So
that's what I mean.
You could watch it as a family. You had the Sarah Jane Adventures, which was the kid version. Then you had the Torchwood, which was the After Dark. And it shouldn't change. And then the more that I'm seeing of this new Doctor Who, it doesn't know what it wants to be. 1 minute it wants to be all funny and kids. Next minute it's quite dark. It doesn't know where it wants to be. And I think what was a really interesting comment, which I know was made in a complete homophobic and hate-filled way, but without using it in that way, I do kind of get their point. The Doctor we've grown up with, even the classic Doctor, was a man you did not want to fuck off. Yeah. Because if you upset him, the whole of time was brought down against you. And you could take that back to John Pertwee, Tom Baker, all of that era of Doctors. Tennant, Eccleston, Matt Smith. Matt Smith, I thought, no, this isn't going to be a good Doctor. Then I saw him be as if, oh my God, someone just hurt Karen Gillan. And wow.
Yeah, Matt Smith was great at that.
Just full stop. And I didn't realise how good an actor he was until I saw that. And now I've seen him in other things. It's like, holy shit, you're a good Doctor.
You should watch him in Game of Thrones. He is such a good dickhead.
Yeah. And again, Capaldi, really good. Jodie Whittaker, I didn't get that from. And then this new Doctor and this comment I was saying is basically, I don't think I like the fact that the Doctor almost cries in every fucking episode. I don't think I've seen the Doctor be that powerhouse that we've had with every other Doctor. I don't get the point. I don't feel like this new Doctor has the ability to just drop the hammer and go, oh no, you've gone too far now. Now you're going to see the side that the Time War saw. Which is what you've got with every other Doctor. And I know they're trying to recreate. I know they're trying to make something new. And without doing it in the stereotypical hatred-wise that everyone else is doing, it just doesn't feel like the Doctor to me still. There's just something not about... He's fun. I love the character. I love the glam. I love the out there of him. But to me, he still doesn't just quite feel like the Doctor because he doesn't have that same energy. It's nothing to do with gender stereotypes, sex stereotypes, all of that. He doesn't seem to have the Doctor energy.
Yeah. I really liked the very little glimpse we got of the War Doctor.
Yes, John Hurt.
John Hurt. That would have been a great one if they could explain. I mean, that's a massive actor, so probably couldn't get him. I mean, so they all are now, but, you know, to get John Hurt to come in onto this random BBC show. But actually,
well, don't
wasn't
forget
he
he's
the voice?
Dead, so
wasn't he the voice of the dragon, actually, in Merlin?
He's,
yeah, but he wasn't dead at the time.
No, but he's done all sorts of things. For them to bring him in as the War Doctor, again, was a brilliant choice.
Mm.
But I stand by my comments. Every Doctor has had a dark side that they've brought to the screen in their own way, up until the Whittaker. Capaldi did to an extent,
yeah,
but his was more. He didn't play it in kind of a snap. It wasn't like the Tennant, the Smiths of the world. It was all happy and airy, and then boom, just with a snap of their fingers, it's a complete change of character. Capaldi was on one level, and it was like, I'm putting up with you, I'm going to kill you, sort of thing. It was just kind of one level for him, and it just slightly moved to the left or the right of that level. Whereas the others had a clear-cut personality change.
I think, I don't care if I upset anyone with this, really. I've liked all of them. I think the only problem, like Jodie Whittaker's ones, it's not because she was a woman. I actually was quite happy for that. What I saw of her acting in Doctor Who, I liked. I thought she was good, and I was really looking forward to seeing where she'd go with it. The writing was fucking dreadful. I'm sorry, but I don't need a social lesson on every single fucking episode. And it wasn't. The thing is, it wasn't subtle. You can do it wonderfully and subtly, like they had already been doing through all the Doctor Who's already. You know, all through Tennant and even Torchwood. You know, all the lessons were already there. And it all worked, and it was still remembering what it was ahead of time. It was first and foremost, it was a fun family sci-fi show. They lost that.
100%.
It completely lost. And I feel sorry that she was the person they were using as the figurehead of that shit writing. That's what I think it is. I think it was just shit. Basically.
No, 100% agree. She got used as a pawn in a game that she really deserved better.
I'd love to see her come back and just not have that.
No, and I think a female Doctor was absolutely the right way to go.
Yeah.
Because it gave a completely new dynamic to something that was feeling overly familiar already.
Mm.
I know we'd been going since, what was it, 2005?
I'm not sure.
It was somewhere around there, maybe a little bit earlier actually than that. Maybe it was about 2001, 2002, the new Doctor Who.
Yeah.
So we've only had 23 years of it, and there's been a big gap in that again, remember? Yeah. But they'd already got to the point that's like, no, this is just the same stuff over and over again, isn't it?
Mm.
So they could have had that. I know that, and that's what they're trying to do now with this, with Nkuti. I can't think of his whole name, I'm afraid.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
It's Nshuti, I think it is, and that's my fault for not knowing. But they're trying to do the fresh start now, and I think it's a little bit late. And I think the biggest nail in the coffin, I know we've been talking about this for too long, so I'll keep this short. The biggest nail in the coffin was reintroducing David Tennant in that first episode, or the Christmas episode they did, and then letting David Tennant have his own episode, because the whole world basically just saw the Doctor that a lot of people fell in love with and went, you brought him back. Can we not just have more of him now?
Because maybe I'll end up bleeping this out. Because now you've got your two Doctors. You've got the agenda Doctor, and you've got the fun Doctor that you want to actually watch. You got these. Well, who do you want to pick? You know, are you going to school, or are you going to go some fun?
Yeah, and I mean, I don't feel like they are doing what they did to Whittaker. You're right.
No, I don't think they are doing to him what they did to her.
And I think they did really well. But things like the Christmas episode with the Goblin King, that was such fun. And again, even though it was the poor ending, when they break the fairy ring in that episode,
yeah,
it's a great dark episode. It's actually really good. It's just a disappointing climax, which unfortunately has been going on for a long time now, and I don't see it going away.
I guess I haven't actually said it yet. I enjoyed all of his episodes. That's first season that he's done. I enjoyed them. I ended it thinking, this is great. I'm looking forward to season 2. So I never had that with Jodie Whittaker's, unfortunately.
No, but my point is, have you watched any of the new season yet?
No.
Need I say more?
I didn't actually even know it was out until it was out.
Exactly. So part of me thinks, has the BBC just started counting their losses so it's not been advertised as much? And the other part of me just thinks, well, I didn't know it came out because I've got no interest in it anymore. Now, if that had been Tennant and it's like new series of Tennant, like that TikTok April Fools that I sent you.
Yeah, which was
how excited
gutting,
did everyone get? New series of Torchwood, fucking finally. New series of Doctor Who with Tennant back in there. Brilliant. Oh, by the way, it's April Fools. Fuck you.
Yeah. Slightly foreshadowing what we might be doing on the next episode.
Yeah, but you know what? It might be really, really good.
Well, we'll find out, won't we?
Be well.
Be fucked.
So what have I been doing?
Yeah, what have you been doing?
I've got quite a lot, actually. Finishing everything, which is a bit disappointing. So we finished Reacher. Wicked. Can't talk about it because you haven't finished it yet.
I still haven't finished season 1, which I'm really pissed off about because that's not down to just it being, it's okay. I'm loving it. I just haven't had a chance, and so much has come in, and there's just, we always have our dedicated thing we've got to watch for this, so that then takes precedence, and then it's just like, well, I've got no more time, so I'm still not quite through season 1. I think I've only got an episode left.
You watching it with Jem?
No, on my own. That's the worst case.
So, yeah, we finished Reacher. Really, really, really good. Brilliant. I can't wait for you to have watched them all and caught up. Yeah, sexy. Wheel of Time. We just finished Wheel of Time, season 3.
Yeah.
Whatever the most recent one is. Really good. After me slagging it off, saying it was just teenage girl bullshit nonsense, actually it was really good. I think the lowest point of all of it is season 2. And the reason I think there's a trend. You tell me what you think. Season 1s of shows, they've got to go hard.
Yeah.
Because they want to bag those other seasons. And they don't just give you one extra season, they give you a few. They go, okay, so you've done 1, give us 2 more. You will now sign you up to go up to season 4. Stretch this out to season 4. So they use the second season to build plot, build this ongoing story which they can then roll on for more seasons, and normally that can be a good thing. In my opinion, in Wheel of Time it was a bad thing.
Right, okay.
And I found it quite boring until right at the end. And then with season 3, it was pretty good all the way through. Brilliant in the last 2 or 3 episodes. Like really, really good in the last few episodes. I was like, can we watch Wheel of Time? Can we watch Wheel of Time? So, yeah. Season 2, a little bit of a low point because it came off a really good ending to season 1. And then, yeah, season 3 definitely saved it for me.
Right. Okay,
So-
well, that makes sense.
That's Wheel of Time. Daredevil. Wow. Oh my
Daredevil.
gosh. Daredevil. So this is now Disney have it. And it's a soft reboot, but not a reboot. So, have you seen any of the Daredevils?
No.
I genuinely think you could go into this and not needing to have actually seen them. All you need to know are the kind of what's the words I'm looking for? How the characters connect. Not so much what's happened before, but more just how they all connect together. Who Foggy Nelson is his partner in his being a law firm. That's about as much as you need to know about Foggy.
Okay.
And then there's another girl that works with them or used to work with them, whatever. There's a few little things. Frank Castle. You just need to know he's the Punisher. That's all you need to know. even though he's had 2 seasons of his own show. None of that. It's almost to a point where actually you might be better off if you haven't watched any of his, because I'm sure the way that they're really good, by the way, the Punisher series, the way that... Do you want to pause it?
Hang on a moment.
Seriously, this is just getting out of hand. Fuck! What now? Oh. Uh-huh. Okay, yes, understood. Okay, sorry about that. That was the chipmunk. Apparently there are things happening with children in the Tom household. I do apologize. Everything is fine. I've been told to shut the fuck up and just get on with it. So, well, yes. I don't want to upset that fuzzy ball of fun.
Right, sorry about that. Slight interlude. Where was I? Frank Castle.
Yes, so he's the Punisher. He's had his couple of seasons.
Yeah, but no, just the way all the things are really big character building moments, really define his character in such a way in those 2 seasons. I'm trying to remember how it ended, but I kind of feel like he ended almost kind of like a bit more mellow. Well, he's straight into this as a fucking hard man. Right, and they've also, what they've done, surprisingly for Disney, upped the blood factor. Wow, people are getting their throats slashed, heads crushed.
You know, I don't think Disney actually have that bad an issue with that. They're not like let's say Nintendo through the 80s and 90s where, oh, you want a game with blood? No, it's got to be green. Whereas I think that Disney are more like the Mega Drive side of things. We don't mind blood, but it has to be required. And I think, yeah, when it comes to Disney films, and because they've got things like... I've forgotten what their adult selection films are called on Disney now. Star, that's it, yeah. And the humour that they're putting on there, things like Family Guy, I don't think they're actually that fussy about it anymore.
I don't think they could have taken on Daredevil and then fitted it into their Marvel universe in the way that they've kidified their Marvel universe. You know, maybe it's getting a little bit more... I mean, I'm so out of touch with it. How the fucking hell do I know? What do I know? You know, I'm still thinking about Iron Man 1, you know. It's, you know, but I know that the Daredevil was in one of the recent Spider-Man films in like an end credit scene or something.
Well, yeah, I didn't realise he's Spider-Man's lawyer.
Yeah. But it's so, what I was saying about Daredevil is, I think you probably could get away with not really needing to have watched the others, and that it feels like almost like an origin story again.
Yeah.
But not. Still... just an origin story of 10 years later or 5 years later or whatever from when all the Netflix ones is. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but the really fucking cool stuff doesn't happen until the last 2 episodes.
Right, okay. That makes sense.
There is some fighting in it, but not every episode. There's some episodes where no one fights. And this is a superhero series, you know, with Daredevil, who in the other seasons was fighting all the fucking time. But when there's fighting, holy shit, it's brilliant. And when Frank Castle's in it, in the, like, spoilers, when he's fighting in the last episode, wow. Just like, I cannot wait for the next season.
You see, I'm kind of getting the idea now. Disney are doing a better job on the TV series that they're producing for Marvel than they are the films.
Because, sorry to interrupt you, they're giving it room to breathe.
Yes.
They're developing characters. They're doing stuff.
They're feeling like they're actually able to do exposition without thinking we're boring the audience. So whereas, let's say, you're going to do an Iron Man film, you know you've got to keep it below 2 hours. As much as a lot of modern films are pushing for that 2 hour or 2 hour plus mark now, they know that, and this sounds really bad, but the general Marvel audience are not going to put up with a film much past 1.5 hours. So they've got to fit in story, action, Iron Man being Iron Man within that time period. Whereas if they move to a TV series, even if they only do 6 episodes, those episodes are going to be, 45-minute long episodes? They can fit in a lot of exposition, which doesn't mean they have to just fill it full of fighting, which I think is a big benefit to a TV show. Not everyone wants just to see the shit being beaten out of people. Yes, it's nice to see sometimes, but sometimes it's actually nice to actually feel like you aren't just following a creation, you aren't just following a character, you're actually feeling like they're not part of your family, but within your friendship group. It's like, I want to know more about this character. And that's what Reach has done so well.
Mm-hmm.
Every episode of Reach I've seen, especially in the first season, you want to go know more about the female police. You want to know more about the New York copper. You want to know more about Reacher himself. And it just breeds a want to carry on watching it. And I think they're doing the right thing.
Just so we can move ourselves along, and Last of Us is now at season 2 of The Last of Us.
Yep.
So I've watched episode 1 of that.
Brilliant. Fair enough.
I thought fucking brilliant. So then I played loads of games. It made me then want to actually play The Last of Us 2, which I've owned for ages, and I only played it for like 10 minutes. So now I've started playing it again. I think I spent £10 and upgraded my PS4 version to the enhanced PS5 one. I thought it was worth it for £10. Excuse me. So yeah, I've now got as far as the first episode is in the game, whereas I'd played the first one when I watched season 1, so I knew exactly what was going to happen and what they changed, but it was so brilliant. I might have spoke to about it on the Variety
show. We have
done.
Done.
Absolutely brilliant. I've finally played that South of Midnight game, if anyone remembers. The few people that listened last week, I was really excited to play that.
Yes, you were.
What a shame. So, graphically, love it. Love the art style. I actually quite enjoyed the story. I loved the location, the kind of weird. It's like set in the bayou in America, and like all the accents are great. The voice actors are great. So many good things about it. The exploration is a little bit janky.
Mm-hmm.
Like jumps, I feel like I'm about to just run off the other end because like the character will kind of stumble a bit or want to keep the inertia of your movement will send you to the edge. So I've died a lot or got hurt in water because you can't swim. So as soon as you touch water, you die.
Oh, I hate that.
And it's like, come on, give me at least like a little quick stamina meter or a reason. Give me a reason why she can't swim. So that was a bit annoying. But
I mean, what's the premise of the game?
So you're this girl, you're about to go off to college, there's a storm, you're with your mum in your kind of mobile home thing. Huge storm. You're packing up all your stuff because you're going to go to the church and ride out the storm.
Yeah.
You have an argument with your mum and you go and check on some of the neighbours, and in the meantime the storm hits and takes the home away and it goes down the river. And you're running to try and catch up with the mobile home floating down the river. But it turns out that you're like a descendant, because it's a game, obviously, so they've got to add some bullshit. You're a descendant of this kind of weird people called weavers or something, and you can control the tapestries of time and stuff, but it also means you commune with these, I guess they're like some real kind of lore in real world kind of gods or whatever. Like there's a big giant talking catfish and all these kind of things.
Oh, okay.
It's all very cool.
So no, the reason I ask is because quite often when you talk about games like this, and the games that we tend to play tend to be somewhat mystery or sci-fi or fantasy, and now I know it sounds like a cheap way to get out, but you just say as soon as you touch water, there's bad things under the water that drag you under. Even that would be better than just saying you can't swim, so you're dead.
I don't think it ever at any point said why you can't swim. You just die. Well, you take a chunk of your health off and it puts you back to where you fell off. No, is actually what it does.
That annoys me. That's lazy programming in my book.
The reason I'm not going to continue playing it is because I don't like the combat.
Right.
It's not very good. And it's not that I'm bad at it. I am bad. But it doesn't feel nice. It's not smooth. I don't like the moves. Yeah, all the enemies, like the way the combat works is it's arenas. So you're going, doing exploring, and then you can quite clearly see you're about to walk into a section where you're going to fight. Because there's loads of weird vines with spikes on. What's that called? Really thick vines with spikes.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And there'll be a thing in the middle that you have to clear. But you can only clear it when you kill the enemies. So you know as soon as you step in, the door's going to close behind you. You've got to fight anywhere between 3 and 10 enemies. And then release the spirit and off you go to the next one. I just didn't enjoy it. I've given up with it. I'm not going to go back to playing it. I'm glad it's on Game Pass. I got to try it.
No, fair enough. As Game Pass is one of those benefits, isn't it? Doesn't cost the world, but it gives you a chance to actually play a lot of games that you wouldn't necessarily buy because of the game prices at the moment. So Yeah, I find it a big bonus because, for example, I want to play the new Sniper Elite. I know that's on Game Pass. I don't care if it disappears off it. Yes, I'd like to complete it if I get a chance to, but even if I just get a chance to play through 4 or 5 levels, I probably will have run out of time by that point and not get back to the point of completing it in the first place.
Yeah.
So I don't care if it disappears.
2 more last things because I'm rabbiting on. The next game I'm waiting to try, which is on Game Pass as well, is called Claire Obscure Exhibition 33. I've spoken about this before.
Mm-hmm.
That comes out, I think, on the 25th. So next time we record this show, I would have played it. So I can tell you what I think about that then. Like, I really need another ginormous role-playing game to play when I haven't finished Final Fantasy yet. And then I've not been very well this week. I was off work for 3 days. And I did nothing but play Minecraft for 3 days. And not on the Xbox.
Sucked you back in.
Cloud play on my Steam Deck to the Xbox. Because long story short, got sinusitis, which is giving me vertigo. So I couldn't do anything. I literally, walking around made me feel sick, wanted to fall over. Anyway, no one cares. So I would have the TV on YouTube and then cloud playing my Xbox to it. So I could kind of do both. I did have to take breaks because it was making my eyes go funny. But yeah, my brother-in-law was like, "You've been playing a lot of Minecraft." I'm like, "How do you know I've been playing a lot?" He's like, his app is notifying him every time I'm logging in. And because I'm going in and out of the cloud thing, it keeps popping up and he's going, "Rob has just started cloud play. Rob has just started cloud play." So like for 3 days. Yeah, anyway, that's what I've been doing. Lots of stuff. That was nearly 15 minutes.
Okay, very quickly, you joined my Apple family. I know it's a bit cheeky to do like that.
Yeah, you joined my Google family.
I did. Something coming to Apple TV in May.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the Skarsgård brothers. So we watched one of them in Boy Kills World.
Yep.
Which, that was Bill Skarsgård,
Who also plays It.
Who also plays It, yes. Well, this is Alex Skarsgård in a TV series called Murderbot.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
It's based on a book series, and basically it's I believe they're security cyborgs that are made up of kind of genetic parts I don't know if they've been grown or they're meant to be just kind of people that have done that. Basically, a little bit like RoboCop, but the whole point of it is he plays this cyborg thing and he's just corrupted his own programming and he's just like called himself Murderbot.
Oh, I like it.
And he still protects the humans from what you can see in the trailer, but he's like also like, I'm on this planet, I'm meant to be protecting them. So far, I've watched 500 hours of whatever their equivalent of Comedy Central in the future was meant to be. It's like, oh, wait, no, I better go and deal with that. And then off he goes. It just looks really fun. I think the only slightly disappointing thing is he takes off the helmet and it's got a human face underneath it. But I then read a lot of comments which says that is actually what they were designed. And in the book, it says they have human anatomy because they've had human parts grown for them or something along those lines. It looks a lot of fun. So come May, we've got to watch that.
It reminds me, I've watched 8 episodes of Severance.
And do you get what I said about that? You don't know what it is. It's just like the first episode, it's like, am I going to enjoy this or not? It's a bit weird. And then a day passes, and like, I want to carry on watching it.
Yeah, I was watching, that was one of the things I had on while I was doing Minecraft, and they were kind of doing something really, Minecraft isn't boring, but when you're just digging, I'm like, I've got Severance on. So, and I was like, oh no, I want to watch another one. So every now and again I'll be putting the deck down and going, I'm gonna focus on this bit now because this is actually really cool. And they're like, okay, right, now we're on, okay, now that's it. And
it's such a weird idea.
It's an odd show in good ways.
Yes.
I am genuinely enjoying it. I'm like, oh, when can I next watch Severance? Because Miranda's got no interest in watching it.
Which is fair enough, because I don't blame it, because it's got comedy, it's got serious. It's a really weird hodgepodge of everything, yet it's beautifully filmed and designed as well.
Yeah.
I just don't know what to make of it. I honestly can't tell you what makes it so good. It's just, it feels clever, but it's not clever for you to have to work out what's going on. So it feels like the show is really clever, but you don't need to be clever to watch it.
Well, it's weird because sometimes it tells you what's happening and other times it lets you just guess what's happening.
Yeah.
It kind of does both. And cinematography-wise, there's some great shots in it, the corridors and some other bits.
The hanging scene's horrible.
Yeah, the hanging scene's pretty rough, yeah.
And
how she purposely does it in lift so that when she comes up and goes into her other self, is like, I've done this to you.
Yeah.
You know that I've done it to you. Yeah. She even says that, doesn't she? I wanted her to know it was me.
But isn't it such a dark idea that you will never know what you do at work? And when you're at work, you have no idea about your outside life. You don't know if you're married. You don't know if... And you just don't know any... It's really...
How far have you got?
Maybe only like episode 8 or 9. And again, I just haven't had a chance to pick it up.
I don't want to say which bit that I'm at because I don't want it to ruin it for you.
Well, vice versa. But I think the last bit I've seen, someone has died in the outside world.
Yes.
And there's been a funeral.
Yes.
And she's gone hunting for something at the funeral.
Have you seen the bit where...
Which suggests she knows what's going on outside and inside.
Yeah, so, you know, one of the severed guys, the slightly chubby guy.
Yeah.
Have you got to the bit why he's really angry at the moment?
No.
Okay, right. So I'm ahead of you by an episode.
But can we also just say, isn't it nice to see Christopher Walken being Christopher Walken?
Yeah, he's great in it, isn't he? Yeah, he's really good. Oh, it's just a great show. Anyway, let's move on to something else really, really good.
He's finally matched his meat. You really licked his ass.
That's met his match and kicked his ass.
That's right. It's time for Demolition Man. Well, he's not saying anything. He's getting his notes ready.
I'm reading something and I just realised it's not actually what... Or is this actually? Yes, it is the bit that I wanted. So I was looking up on this. And I was trying to find something online that I wanted to kind of just bring to this that was going to be a little bit different. Now, I've got a few things that I've saved, and I thought, you know what, this is going to be fun because I'm going to ask you questions. I know it's one of your favourite films, a little bit of a quiz and so on. But then I was doing a bit more research. Mm-hmm. So I found this webpage called Bulletproof Action.
Okay.
10 things you didn't know about Demolition Man.
All right.
Number 1, the 2 original choices for the leads were Steven Seagal and Jean-Claude Van Damme. Jean-Claude Van Damme was to play the villain, but he lobbied to play the hero role, and Seagal didn't want to play the bad guy either. So in the end, neither of them were in the film.
Thank God.
Stallone took the role of Spartan. He tried to get Jackie Chan to play the villain, because I didn't realise this, Stallone and Chan are good friends.
Oh.
But Chan didn't think the Chinese audience would appreciate him being a maniacal maniac who's out murdering people. So that fell through. Snipes didn't want to play the villain either.
Oh.
No one wanted to play the villain in this. Apparently, the director and producer went and visited him on the set for Rising Sun, convinced him to take his role. He hated his blonde hair and went so far as to shave his head after filming had wrapped. But Dennis Rodman, the NBA player, loved it. So it then...
so that's why his hair's blonde?
He adopted the look after seeing this.
Oh, horrible, because that guy's awful.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to skip number 4. Number 5, don't really care about. Number 6, lots were chosen, but Taco Bell was chosen in the end.
Mm-hmm.
General Motors, yeah, fine. Spartan's daughter, we'll talk about later. There was a subplot involving her, but that was scrapped apparently. Which
yeah,
made sense.
That's an annoyance in the film for me.
Yeah, a little bit for me. In Kuwait, the Arabic title of the film was, any ideas?
Destruction Boss.
Rambo the Destroyer.
I like it.
But we'll come back to number 4 here, because this is the one, and then I've done a bit more digging, and it does seem that this is true.
Okay.
And this adds credence to your father.
Mm-hmm.
Snipes improvised many of his lines used in the film.
Mm-hmm.
The scene where he speaks Spanish after he's brought out of cryosleep and interrogated was completely ad-libbed. The filmmakers thought it showed his utter contempt for authority.
I saw it more as actually because I don't know what he's saying. I thought he was just repeating what the other guy said in Spanish, but I thought it was more like it was a quick glimpse into they'd been programming him when he was unconscious.
Well, yeah, that's potentially what I was thinking, but especially when you then consider Stallone goes down into the underworld, doesn't he, later, and he speaks Spanish to buy the rat burger.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you expect that maybe he's learning it to go down there. But no, you're right. Your dad was right. Although there was a script, it does sound like a fair bit of it was he ad-libbed and was just allowed to get away with it.
Because he's so he's so natural in it. That's what that's the thing about it. Because I feel like you can almost tell which bits he's having fun with and which bits he isn't. Although 99% of it, I think he actually is having fun. At least that's what the impression I think you get from it. And yeah, none of his lines, none of his interactions, nothing feels forced.
No, you're right. Quiz time before we talk about the film.
Okay,
because I want to see how much you paid attention.
Watch me get them all wrong.
Okay. What city is it based in originally before he's frozen? So before he's woken up, and
I wanted to say it's Los Angeles. Isn't it like San Andreas or something?
It's Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. It was Los Angeles. Yeah. Okay.
What's the year before he's frozen?
1993.
96.
Oh, hang on. I did write it down. The film came out in 93.
Yeah, the film was 93. The film is set in 1996.
Excuse me. Yep.
How many hostages is he looking for?
I think he's looking for 20, but later on they say he kills 30.
So it's exactly the same. Yeah. Okay. What else? What other questions did I have? How long is he sentenced to?
He gets 70 years.
70 years, yeah.
He does not serve 70 years.
When does he wake up then?
He wakes up on August 3rd, 2030.
Nice, okay. What's the code word that Wesley Snipes knows?
Oh, shit. It's teddy bear.
Teddy bear, well done. And I'll make this the very last one. What poster does Sandra Bullock's character Huxley have in her office?
It's the crime one.
Crime one.
Shit. I can't remember the film's name. Yeah, I can't remember the name of the film.
Lethal Weapon 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely. Anyway, those are just my little questions. I thought, let's see, how much does he really pay attention to these films? Is he going to watch it like a hawk? He didn't do too bad.
I think I did all right, yeah.
There's so much to unpack on Demolition Man.
Did you like it?
Oh, I love it.
Oh, good.
It's such a cheesy action film for the time. I always think of it as an 80s film, but no, it's a 90s film.
Yeah, it's a 90s film, yeah.
It's a lot newer than actually I give it credit for. Newer. That I give it credit for. I always expected it to say, I know it's an 80s film, but no, it's a 90s film. So much love put into it as well. The creation of some of the sets, the changing of some of it, the cars.
They clearly built loads of cars. The set in the cryo prison is incredible. They literally have made the arms and moving parts. And there's a fight scene and later he gets picked up by it. Wow. Just the love and effort that's gone into the set design.
So
through the entire film.
Quite obviously, the set design kind of almost came first to some of it, because I'm going to pick you up on that bit. So Wesley Snipes, is there, and he's bringing the arm around, and he picks up good old Spartan.
Yeah.
Picks him up. How does he escape from the hook hand thing?
Oh, he puts his hand on what he wouldn't be able to put his hand on.
So he grabs a pipe, rips it off, and liquid nitrogen starts coming out.
Yeah, his hand would have frozen off.
Why is the arm being powered by liquid nitrogen? Because it's part of the arm.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just one of those things, because they don't use liquid nitrogen to freeze them. That's the little blue M&M Skittle, I should say, that they drop in and it freezes you. So what on earth?
Here's an idea. Maybe it feeds right to the tip of the arms, so that when the metal arms are touching the ice cubes, they're not going to slowly melt the ice. So they're blasting liquid nitrogen out to make sure it stays cold at the point of contact.
Okay, show off. Fair enough.
I just made that up. I have no idea.
No, but fair enough. That's vaguely sense. But that's kind of one of the things I've thought about that. And I love just how just holding it there for a couple of minutes is enough to make very obviously meant to be thick, super strong metal just snap.
Or it's some kind of hydraulic fluid that they're using that also has the capacity to freeze steel.
Yeah, there's just.
I mean, this is in the blisty future of 1996. So
no, this is 2032.
But these things were built in 96.
True. But I think we should also just kind of point out that this is not the sort of film you can deep dive massively.
No.
Because you'll find lots of problems. For example, when Spartan first goes up against Simon Phoenix in the thing, and he says, "I told you all to fuck off. Even the bus drivers don't come here." Blah blah blah. I'm pretty sure that C4 doesn't come in barrels.
Oh, does it say C4 on the barrels?
All the barrels behind them is marked as C4.
Oh,
the other problem
silly.
with C4 is you can't just set it on fire and make it blow up.
No.
It just burns. People use it and cut it and cook things on it when they can't find whatever fuel they need in the battlefield. You need to detonate it. So, as I said, it's not one of these films that you can pull to pieces and expect to have done really well, because there are things in it that just don't work unless you just suspend your disbelief a little bit.
You just have to let the film happen to you.
Yeah.
And that's how you enjoy it. You just let the film go. Don't sit there questioning things. Just let the film take control over the next hour and a half or hour and 40 minutes, however long it was.
Exactly.
Of
You've
your
just
life.
got to accept that the LAPD in 1996 have Chinook helicopters.
Yeah. Also, by the way, how like clearly the police chief is old enough that he would still have known the world before,
but he's completely vacant of it.
But he is complete. Whereas they've just got some
Yes.
old black dude. It seems to be the only person who knows anything.
Who
about
worked
anything.
with Spartan.
He worked for Spartan. Yeah. And by the way, what a great name that they call him Spartan.
Yeah.
I think that's a really cool.
So, very, very quickly, son, yeah, he's de-thawed. Oh no, your wife's dead. Just really bluntly, your wife's dead. Fine, kind of understand that one. Just get it out of the way. Your daughter, no, you're here to help us. We're not going to tell you anything about her. I have a horrible, horrible feeling that they planned on making Huxley his daughter.
Yes.
Which I'm very glad they didn't, seeing there's the whole kissing and sex thing. So
interesting.
That would have been a terrible choice, because then you couldn't have had the sex scene, which, let's face it, Sandra Bullock is yummy.
I've seen this film so many times. For whatever reason, I've always just ignored the wife and daughter part of it. And it was only because this time I was actually watching it thinking, no, I need to make notes on a few bits. And I was like, oh, this is actually a really weird bit about this film.
Yeah,
where being a dad, there's no fucking way I would do anything for anybody unless I knew what was happening to my son.
Now, I do kind of like the fact that at the end he's like, no, don't look her up. I don't want to know. She doesn't need to know I exist anymore. She's had her own life for 36 years or something, isn't it, that he's been frozen for. Kind of understand that a little bit.
Nah, I don't.
Well,
I would be straight in.
I don't know, because we don't know how old the daughter was meant to be when he was frozen, do we?
Yeah, or what his relationship with her was.
So, for all we know, she was a baby, and she's gone through not only her dad being jailed when she's a baby, her mother dying in an earthquake, and now he's been thawed out to capture a mass murderer who's destroying the potential city that she still lives in. I'm not sure. I think I would probably do what he said, which is, no, you know what? She just doesn't need to know about. I don't need to know what's going on. She's got her own life now, and she doesn't need the complication of me coming into it and suddenly being there when I can't even stop swearing and making tickets come out of the wall.
I suppose, and also it just puts her in the crosshairs for
that too as well. Yes,
Phoenix.
You're putting it in the crosshairs. Now, what I kind of don't understand is if you're going to cut that scene and the whole storyline of the daughter, don't just put in a very hurried thing at the end where you tell Huxley, no, don't look her up, and give all of that speech. You just refilm that beginning bit where you say, what about my wife? She died in the earthquake along with your daughter. Boom. Done. Fixed it. Don't need to add in anything at the end of the film. Don't have to worry about the storyline.
Or just not have them exist.
Yeah, or just have that. To be honest, with how he's kind of explained as in the beginning of the film, being Demolition Man and all of that, you kind of get the idea that he probably wouldn't have had a family life.
I think he was an absent father.
Well, yeah, but as they don't really show any of that, it's not like Die Hard, where you know that basically Bruce Willis's wife is like, I'm sick of this, so I'm moving on with my life and I'm taking our kids with us. You know he's an absent father at that point because of how they implement it into the story.
Yeah.
We see nothing about his fucking family in 1996. He only asks about them when he's been thawed.
Yeah, exactly. And they're not there. Well, yeah, he does say as well about his wife banging on the glass. So maybe it wasn't.
Oh, yeah, he says about
actually.
Dreaming that that's happening. But
yeah.
Again, it's something that didn't need to be in there. It's just, you don't need to try and make him human. We already know he's human. Just leave it at that. I think those are probably my biggest holes in it. There's just some straight up very funny bits. So Phoenix blows up the warehouse. He's obviously killed all the hostages first, and they found the body, which is why the heat signature does. Again, they could have done with explaining that, you know?
Yeah.
They've thawed him, and they finally say, oh, yeah, Phoenix had actually already killed everyone. And I'm sure I remember there's a cut of the film where he says, before he destroys them, I'd already killed everyone.
No, he does at the end.
He does say that at the end.
Yeah, at the end, in the fight scene at the end, he's like, I'd already killed them.
Yeah, exactly, which is why the heat scanned it. So, no, okay, I blanked on that this time. But I'm glad they kind of do that bit. But
because that's when he says there were 30 of them, which is in contradiction to what...
No, the beginning is 30.
Oh, is it? I thought it's like 22
No,
or something.
I've got my notes written in note here, and it's 30 hostages.
Oh, okay, I didn't write that down.
But what I've got here is just after it's blown up and they say they find all the bodies, I really love the fact that the police officer behind him says, if you have a lawyer, you better call him. And then literally under a second later, he's being frozen. It's like, your lawyer was a bit shit then, wasn't he?
Yeah, it wasn't Daredevil. Yeah, they didn't get Matt Murdock in.
Yeah, it kind of just feels like, hang on a moment. He's got all the evidence there. He's got the thermal scans. His team would have seen the thermal scans. He wasn't just working on his own. He had a Chinook helicopter with other people on board. So they could have shown that there's the evidence there. But he was still put away for 70 years for the death of all of them.
Yeah.
Well, no, they were dead already.
Yeah, exactly. Well, just move on to the cryo prison again. One thing I noticed, I was saying it to Miranda when we were watching, is like, I feel like he would have been wearing a respirator when they froze him.
Yeah, so they don't quite explain the cryo prison well enough at the beginning. You actually get more of an insight when Phoenix is thawing everyone and when Spartan gets thawed, because one of the processes they say is, right, injecting plasma, and they're not talking about plasma in the way Star Trek talks about plasma within the warp engine. They're talking about the plasma inside your body, so the liquid. So obviously I wonder if the freezing process originally maybe went on for longer, but they had to cut it to kind of say people aren't going to sit around for this. But the long and the short of it is, if you look at what cryogenics is, you don't just freeze a body, because the liquid expands. Just like if you put a bottle of beer inside the freezer and close the door, as it freezes, it's going to expand, it's going to blow the top off it. So you're going to have a problem. And that's the same with blood. And if that freezes and damages the blood vessels, you're absolutely screwed. Same if it happens inside the blood, but inside the brain even. So what happens in cryogenics is, as soon as you're dead, they stick giant fuck off needles in you and drain all the fluid out of you. And then they fill you up with antifreeze. And then they put your body in liquid nitrogen. And I kind of get the idea that whoever had the idea of the cryo prison did their research. They just didn't put it across well enough. So yeah, they don't need to give him a respirator because they're going to suck it all out of him. But then why leave him conscious up until the point that the fluid's all around
That's
him?
the thing. There's a moment in time where he is fully submerged in that weird goo.
Yeah,
and
that would freak me the fuck out.
Yeah, and they're very slow at getting that weird little marble to go in and instant freeze him. There's a moment in time where he could die. He could have a panic attack, breathe in the goop, drown, and then get frozen dead.
But again, are we talking about things we haven't got any idea what they were planning? We don't know what they say. For all we know, that in the longer director's cut, they actually explain what that goop is, and it's the same goop that we talked about with Ethan and his co-host,
the other day,
the oxygenated goop that technically does exist, that they use in the Abyss. And the rat, actually was put inside a box full of that goo, breathed it, then out, and it's fine. So it could have all been that. But either way, it's a bit of an odd one. I will say, though, obviously all the wax mannequins they used and the waxworks they used for the people absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
I do wonder, so you know when they have...
You're about to say the same thing I'm thinking.
The fight with Phoenix, and they've got one in the ice block. I'm pretty sure that's Sylvester's one,
I think it's the
isn't
same one. They've just spun it round.
Yeah.
It's exactly what I was about to say. I think that's the same one. I was looking at thinking, is it... Because he was in a very specific shape.
And that was very similar
And it was very similar looking shape, yeah. So they just made one. It was far enough away you wouldn't know. And it was kind of just the legs.
But they also must have made a waxwork of him outside of that, because that entire intro bit where it's slowly panning 3D around his body, it's not him inside one of those ice blocks. It's it's meant to look like that, but it's quite obvious that the cameras are really close to his body going around it.
It'd
So
be CGI if they did it now.
Oh, it would be 100% CGI.
But
if it was
then
now.
they wouldn't have been doing it, making it look that good.
No.
Because it looked real. So it must have been.
Yeah.
Someone must have made it. And it was a really good likeness of him.
It was an amazing likeness. The skin, everything, the texture, everything about it. And watching it now in 4K on like Netflix, you know when something's ropey now. When we used to watch on a CRT TV at home, you know, like the 14-inch portable TV in your bedroom, it didn't matter if it was a bit shit because the resolution of what we were watching at took that away. Things looked good no matter what.
Yeah.
Now we've got all these 4K remasters. You can tell when something's not had money put into it. And there must have been a lot of money put into this.
Yeah, because nothing showed bad.
I mean, even in the cryo prison, all the machined metal they've got. So the thing that holds the little blue ball, I've got a real thing for when a film does machined metal props for nothing but to look cool. And it just how it slots in and it feels, and it's just like, Star Trek First Contact, when they outside and they're detaching the deflector.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going around and they're doing the pull
that's a
handle.
great scene, yeah.
That's such sexy metal work.
Yeah.
And it looks so good, especially when it like comes out and he's like twisted. And again, Wrath of Khan, when he's doing the Genesis machine, you've got this metal kind of pillar that comes out, twisted, and a little one pops out. Machined metal just looks fucking awesome.
They sell that really well on First Contact. They sell the sell the weightlessness. They sell there's actually friction on those things. It really feels like they're actually doing it. They do that really, really well. A few of my favourite things about Demolition Man, the swearing machines.
Oh, the swearing machines are brilliant.
Always funny. Any three seashell jokes, funny every time. I've got absolutely no concept of how the three seashells could ever possibly work to wipe your ass.
It's got to be a scraping. That's all I can ever think of.
And lots of people must remember it because it's like it comes up in a few games. It's in Cyberpunk. If you ever played Cyberpunk, your toilet has three seashells on the back of the toilet.
In one of the Half-Life games, might be Half-Life 2, there's a reference to it at one point. One of the things I was going to say about the swearing machines, I love the fact that it goes around and the moratorium law or whatever it is. You have been fined
John
50...
Spartan, you have been fined 1/2 credit.
It's the fact that he says it and you'll hear it from halfway across the room still. So it's not even when it's just next to him. You just hear it in the distance sometimes, still going off.
Now, there is one moment where someone swears and the machine does not go off. Did you pick it up?
I've got quite a few moments that happens. So, for example, wouldn't you think that Simon Phoenix doing the Chinese impression
would have set
it off?
Well, he's not swearing, though.
No, but it's racist.
He's being racist, but these are specifically swears.
These machines are meant to be everything. Don't forget, we're in a society that you're not even allowed to kiss or have sex, which, again, we'll talk about in a minute. You'd think that racist... Simon Phoenix, for being racist, you've been fined 250 credits.
Yeah, that was rough. I mean, it was funny.
God, is it?
It was funny. Sorry, everyone. It was actually very funny. But at the same time, like, you could not do that now.
No, and also, would you not consider all the sexual terms he uses for having sex as something that should trigger it?
Do you think him doing that Chinese thing was an ad-lib?
100%.
Because that is brilliant if it was
100%, that's got to be an ad-lib. Spartan swears, doesn't he? And it doesn't catch it. And
no, I think he gets caught every single time. But it's just the one that you really, really notice is when Phoenix is talking to the knobhead guy in his office, and he says fuck. Nothing happens.
You're right. Nothing happens. But do you think that's because he's in his office and he's basically I don't really
that's what I'm
this.
wondering. Or at that point, Simon, because he knows he can hack stuff, if he's just turned it off
for him, possibly. Go on. What were do you know what the three terms were that good old Stallone used? Those really common terms used for sex.
No.
So one, boning. You know what boning?
Oh no! Hang on. I might have written it down. Did I write it down?
I accept boning as a term that should be used.
Okay, I don't actually have it written
The
down.
wild mambo.
The wild mambo, yeah.
Again, just about accepting this one. I don't mind that one. Hunker Chunker, however,
Hunker Chunker.
I genuinely just say no. If you're calling sex Hunker Chunker, you don't deserve to have sex.
Ah, TJ.
You're a 12-year-old boy who's read a porno once.
What's your boggle?
What is my boggle indeed? Be well, Rob Carr.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, he has some of the worst lines in the film. Actually,
that must have been really hard to do, though. So you've got a standard way of speaking that we all do, and you're telling them, by the way, you're all now in the future, and you have to speak in a very specific way.
Yeah.
So the whole be well, don't make actual contact with each other, just using weird words. I know it's scripted, but the way they all do it, it sounds absolutely perfect.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say that they make a very believable future.
Yeah, they do. Absolutely.
I mean, excluding the great, the franchise wars with Taco Bell winning. Obviously, that was a very weird one, but yeah, it's just a very, very, very good idea of the future. And there's a few things in there that I was actually quite taken with. So, for example, vertical TVs everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Look at us now.
Yeah.
TikTok, phones, YouTube Shorts. We watch things more on a vertical screen than we do a standard kind of horizontal layout anymore.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've got me being rude, of course. Spartan, you've demolished everything. He hasn't demolished Huxley yet. Wink, wink.
Yeah, was it? I mean, she's got some great. Lelina Huxley though has got some really. She's got lots of fun stuff. Like, I put it in one of the things before. Is like, you really matched his meat. You really licked his ass.
Yeah. I love all the slightly wrong phrases.
Let's go blow this guy.
Yes. I love the fact that actually now that makes sense. So the fact that Stallone wanted Chan to be the bad guy, I really love the fact that then Huxley later is like kicking the arse of all these people, and Stallone's like, "Where did you learn that?" "Oh, Jackie Chan films."
Yeah.
I wonder if that's where that came from.
Yeah, maybe
a little kind of nod to his friend there. But that she's just a really good. I love the fact that she's really like us. Basically, she collects 90s shit.
Yeah.
She collects 90s shit, and she wants to live back in the 90s, and that's just me straight up.
Yeah.
I do love the fact that she's like, having seen you fight, kill people, and beat them up, I want to get laid.
Yeah.
Except it's some shitty headset.
Yeah.
And the smirk on his face when he's like, "With you? Yes. Yeah."
Right. How many days since he was awake that this interaction is happening?
Oh, it was about a day, and he only just found out his wife's dead.
Yeah. I didn't enjoy that.
Yeah, in fact, that's a really good plot point, actually, isn't it? Because although he's been frozen for 36 years, for him, in theory, no time should have passed, although we now know that time has passed for him. But he's basically just been, I'll blatantly bang you.
Straight in. Yeah, straight in. Whereas, realistically, I think everyone would be like, this actually isn't appropriate. Because, from my perspective, my wife died today.
Exactly.
You know, this is a very odd interaction that we're having with each other.
Yeah. A couple of things as well I've got here. The police station.
Mm-hmm.
That was used in Star Trek and The Orville and several other sci-fi things.
Oh, is it?
It's a water processing thing. It was a very futuristic thing that got used in a lot of places.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the episode of The Orville when they go to rescue the scientist who's created the aging gun or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So that was very cool. I love the fact that at one point as well, I think Simon Phoenix turns to Spartan and knocks by him and goes, "Excuse me, Rambo."
Yeah.
Which is a nice little touch.
Mm.
I love it. It's definitely a film of its time. I can see that the way cinema is going at the moment, we may get a remake of it, which will be an abject failure.
Oh, I really, really hope they don't. Oh my gosh.
You know what? They seem to be remaking all of these sorts of films at the moment. And I've just kind of got here that if they remade it, there's just things that they do. They would make Huxley his daughter. That would be the storyline. They'd get rid of the sex because they're like, "Oh no, that's not appropriate to have in a film anymore. We can't have a man and a woman stick their cock in each other."
It won't be called Demolition Man. It'd be called the Demolitionist.
And
because they won't be able to genderfy it.
Yeah, that's true. What I also see happening would be, and this would be the bit that would kill it beyond all repair here. I know Phoenix is pissed off that he's been programmed to help this bloke, and he eventually kills him. But the main part of this would be that the modern film would make Phoenix be super angry that he's been programmed, and then would eventually help Sparson to beat Dr. Coco or whatever his name is.
I saw how Phoenix was going to kill him a mile off. I've always thought it. As soon as you know that he's been programmed and then he convinces him to unfreeze his mates, you know at that point, Phoenix has already gone, well, I'll just get my mates to kill you.
100%.
From that moment, because he's very clever. Even before he has his mind done, he's already actually quite a clever bad guy.
It's funny, isn't it? RoboCop did it better. You consider, if you said Phoenix is RoboCop, exactly the same premise, isn't it? RoboCop cannot kill the head of OCR.
Yeah.
You're fired. Bang, I can kill you now.
Yeah.
And exactly in this way, Phoenix can't kill him, someone else can.
Yeah, exactly. And how clever Clogs didn't see that coming.
Exactly, and that's what I mean. The RoboCop one works better.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't think he's going to be fired. He thinks, no, I'm always going to be a mate. This is always going to be my company. He doesn't see that coming. Whereas, Mr. Cleverclocks and Phoenix literally call it a safety net. We're keeping Spartan around until you've done your job. And of course you can unlock all of your friends. What did he think was going to happen?
Yeah, exactly.
It was a bit of a stupid way to die, I think. It was a dumb way to die, if you know the song.
Yeah. What do you think about... I think they all went to the Stormtrooper School of Aiming.
Oh, my God, yeah. Everyone. Always. And it pisses me off. He's meant to be this crack shot because he's been programmed as well, and he still can't hit anything.
No one can hit anything. Just fireless bullets. We all know it's a film. I've always thought this about it. It's like, just don't use the gun so much, because... You would have hit one of you by now.
Okay.
You'd be dead by now.
He's been programmed to be a killer. He's been and we see the list of all the programs he's had. Not one of those is, by the way, the most modern gun you're going to be able to find in our environment is at the museum. It's the fusion gun. To turn it on, you do this. You have to wait 2 minutes for it to work. He has no clue about any of those guns that are modern except for the pistols.
Yeah.
Surely that would have been in his programming package as well.
Yeah. Well, it just shows how actually dumb the people who were in charge of it all were.
Yeah, I mean, it does, as I say, we're kind of trying to kill the film, but we're not.
No.
It's a really good film, but if you look into the inaccuracies and the issues that arise from it, then it's very clear to see there's lots of holes in the story. The thing about it is, it really doesn't detract. If you want just a stupid action film full of explosions and fun, Demolition Man is exactly what you want.
In the moment, you do not really notice any of these things. Not really.
Not at all.
In any way that you'd ever even remotely care.
Until you sit there with a notepad and start making notes like we did, you don't care about those things. The only reason we bring them up is because we've sat there and we're analysing the film.
Yeah, because at that moment, it's a good moment seeing him trying to figure out the space age gun. That's a really fun moment. I mean, and then suddenly when it's charged, it's like, oh, yes. And then you get the payoff of it actually being a really cool gun. You know?
Exactly. It's just one of those things, I think. This is why we talk about reviewers, and what we've got to be careful about is not being the people that review films in the way that we dislike. We can, and I think we're very good at this, we can pick a film to bits and say, look, this was wrong, but it's still not stopped us going. But you know what? Just watching it as a film, it's bloody brilliant. Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
If you're looking for it to be really accurate, then this isn't the film for you. But if you're looking for a film just to have fun with, then do it.
Look, no matter what I say negative about this film, this is one of my favourite films of all time. This, The Thing, and Lord of the Rings, they are my favourite films of all time. I know you don't like Lord of the Rings. You know, even The Phantom Menace is up there as one of my most favourite films, because it's got such a nostalgic part of me, The Phantom Menace. It's a great part of my life when The Phantom Menace came out. I know there's loads of things wrong with that film, but there's just something that film brings so many good memories along with it.
Something I've recently learned. So you know the pod racing scene when the camera pans around, you see all the stands with lots of people kind of You can't see them. You just see this kind of overarching view of all the stand.
Yep.
Those are all little cotton heads that have all been dyed different colours. You know those little cotton buds that you can clean your ears?
Yeah.
They cut all of them. They just gave them all different colours and stuck them in polystyrene, and that's what the stands are. In that first kind of panning shot of it, that's what those are.
I haven't watched that in like 4K thing, so I wonder if you can tell.
Oh, I wonder. I think things like that are really fun to know. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's one of my favourite films. It's definitely one of my films that I do love to watch, though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to take that away from anyone. It's a good film.
It's a film that we're on telly.
It is a film.
I would not change the channel, and I think that is what makes a film.
Damn right.
All right, Oxley, what do you say we just do it the old-fashioned way?
Ew, disgusting. You mean fluid transfer?
So, we've now in full agreement that Demolition Man is the greatest film of all time. What are we going to be doing next time?
We are going to watch New Doctor Who.
We are. We're going to at least watch the first episode of it, at least.
I think what we really should do, let's watch the first episode, and then let's also take into account what Biffo wrote about it.
I haven't read what he wrote.
Well, that's what I mean. So let's give it a read, watch the first episode, and then...
No, let's watch it first, then read what he said.
Watch it, read it, then we dissect it. I would love to see what Biffo would do as a Doctor Who script, because he is actually one of the only people that are genuinely qualified to say, this isn't good, because he wrote scripts.
Yeah.
So you know what? I would love to, and seeing all of the found footage stuff. I know you haven't watched any of the found footage yet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, you're missing out. And I would love to see what he'd do with Doctor Who. I really, really would.
Well, I mean, from what I do know from the stuff he writes, I think it would be right up his alley.
Oh God, yeah,
definitely.
It would be absolutely brilliant. I mean, Venus would be one of the main bad guys for at one point.
How good would that be? I mean, I know who Venus is, and I've seen some things.
Who's that? Oh dear. Anyway, so next week, first episode of New Doctor Who on the BBC.
That's what season 2 of that guy, isn't it?
Yes.
Simon says, everybody, stand. And the home of the brave.
Let's move the microphone back to my face.
You see, it now swings as
well.
I
know. Sorry, TJ's just like gone bad. You've got new mics, new stand. The stand is a game changer for me because the way I sit, if you notice as well, I put mine the other way around.
Yeah.
I have the back going up, but you have the back going down. I need to change mine to be the same way as you because it's the right way of doing it. This is just a holdover from the other.
No, I think whatever works for you, mate, to be honest. If that works, it works.
But either way, this is so stable. I think people can hear me wobbling it now.
Yeah, that's the only thing. So our old mics used to have springs on them. So if I did this, you wouldn't hear that because it's sprung load. And we can get spring holders for the mics, but
I don't think we need.
We don't touch it. It's fine. Anyway, right. End the show. I
End
want to go to bed.
End of the show. Right. What's the time?
It's 20 to midnight.
Oh, Jesus
And we
Christ.
both have kids that will be up at 6.
Yeah,
at
right.
least.
So where can you find us? You can find us on every single social media. X, Blue Sky. Just go to channel84.co.uk. You can find absolutely everything on there. We are part of the Studio Channel 84 group of indie podcasts, which is obviously the Untitled Sci-Fi Show. The other one with Tom and I is the Variety Show. Both are, fortnightly, alternating Mondays. Hopefully this one will come out on Monday on time. We'll see.
It should do, but you know what?
It should do, but if it doesn't...
Easter, so it might be delayed to Tuesday.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I'm going to do my best to get to come out Monday, but at the same time, where I haven't been well, I'm finding it difficult to look at the PC screen. So I wasn't able to work. So if it doesn't come out Monday, it will come out Tuesday.
And that's fully understandable, mate.
Just bear with me on it. It will come out before the next variety show. Also, part of the Show Channel 84, we've got Lightly Used with Karen Adam. They just had their 20th episode. Brilliant.
Well done,
I can't
guys.
believe that's gone so quickly. And also Who Takes the Socks Off with Simon and Ross. I didn't fuck anyone up. Thank you very much. Send in your answers, please, to this episode, whatever you want to call it. Guess the intro. It's all computer games. I think they're all pretty easy to get, and I'll try my best to make it easy to get so we can actually get some people winning. I'll try and make all of them a bit easier, but still actually fun. Yeah, that's it. Tune in next time. Thank you very much.
Love you, darling.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Untitled Sci-Fi Show. This station is now shutting down and will be back in 2 weeks. May the Force live long and prosper inside of you. This was a Studio Channel 84 network show. To find more, head over to channel84.co.uk now.